We're joined now by General Bob Cohn. Thank you very much for taking the time, and I hope you understand there's an entire country that wants to convey its condolences to the folks here on this base. What can you tell us about what happened inside this facility yesterday?
You'd have to understand this is a very small place, and in this area of about 3 buildings end to end, there are about 500 soldiers. I'd say maybe about 300 soldiers and about some 200 civilians that are, and soldiers are lining up for shots, for eye testing, etc. And they're various stations. So it's a very dense area, and the primary amount of shooting took place in really one building, with some shooting outside. Again, in talking to many of the soldiers in the hospital last night, they reported almost a very calm and measured approach by the gunman who went around, and in some cases, talked to one young man last night, he was shot 4 times, and by the same shooter, and then when he thought he moved, he said, "I made the mistake of moving and I was shot again." And so this took place, and as the shooter would change directions, the soldiers would scramble on the ground and try and help each other to carry each other outside the building. And at one point, the gunman realized a lot of the soldiers had started to escape, walked and started shooting outside the building, and struck some of the soldiers as they were trying to escape. The stories that from these young soldiers, and I really hope we can get them in the media here fairly quickly, really remarkable in terms of their reaction. A young lady who realizes that her battle buddy is hurt, takes her blouse off, ties a tourniquet, carries the guy outside, gets him to safety, and then realizes she herself is shot. And talking to most of these kids, I said, did it hurt, etc.? And they said, all we could think of is getting out of there. So pretty good reaction, I think.
Hassan, Major Hassan, were they military-issued weapons? Were they his own weapons? Do you know anything about that?
The description of the weapons indicates they are not military-issued weapons.
And did he say anything as he was carrying out?
There are reports, unconfirmed, that he was saying Allahu Akbar.
Really?
Yeah.
How many minutes before, and was anyone inside this facility armed? Was anyone inside the facility in a position to return fire?
No, because soldiers, when we're on Fort Hood, we don't carry weapons.
Right.
There are security guards, but very fortunately, in a really very short distance, was a active response trained team. And essentially they responded, and it happened that one of our most aggressive police officers, Officer Munley, happened to, as he walked out of the corner of the building, she came upon him, and they had an exchange of gunfire that left him with 4 wounds, and she was wounded, not mortally. As a matter of fact, she's been talking to her friends on the phone, and
so she's okay.
But
she took fire herself.
She took fire herself, and her partner did not receive fire, but it was this. I think that was so successful in ending this incident.
Is there a way to describe what the level of shock and pain, and this base is used to sending folks out into harm's way.
Right.
They're not even really thinking about it coming and landing right in their backyard.
We're looking very hard as my job now is to prepare this post for the future and basically deal with the grieving. And we've looked at other models like the Virginia Tech shooting. It's a different sort of demographic based on life experience, and we're going to bring in health professionals to address that. The soldiers will drive on, and again, they will get mental health counseling, etc. It's really the families and the children, because they believe this is a safe environment, and that's really where we're focusing our efforts in the coming days.
General, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I do appreciate it, sir.
Great.